Hi, everyone. Welcome to our channel. Douglas Macgregor contends that likening Iraq to a Nazi state, as some did during the Bush administration, is unfounded. He suggests that the recurring comparison enacts whenever there's conflict is nonsensical. Instead, he proposes a different analogy: Israel's pursuit of eliminating a specific school of fish in the ocean, which proves nearly impossible. Consequently, they opt to drain the entire ocean to achieve their goal, leading to broader regional consequences, a path he believes we're currently on. Professor Bartolf, a highly knowledgeable historian, possesses a deep understanding of historical events. He suggests that the Israeli government perceives the current moment as opportune to forcibly remove the Arab population from Gaza. They aim not to entirely eliminate Hamas fighters or rescue hostages, but rather to exploit the situation to expel Gaza's population. This approach aligns with a long-standing Zionist aspiration for Israel to control the land between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean. Prime Minister Netanyahu, buoyed by public support and enhanced authority in Washington, views Gaza's conflict as existential for Israel's security. However, Macgregor fears the shift to a war of decision could escalate into a regional conflict with unforeseeable consequences. He warns that the region's dynamics have evolved since past conflicts, making broader intervention more likely if Israel continues its aggressive actions in Gaza. Very recently, during a cabinet meeting, everyone except Netanyahu favored attacking Hezbollah. However, he wisely intervened, recognizing the danger of involving Hezbollah in the conflict. The concern is that recent developments may indeed draw Hezbollah into the fray. Erdogan's statements have underscored a dangerous trend in Israel, Europe, and the United States, where his warnings are not taken seriously. Erdogan publicly labeled Netanyahu and Israel as war criminals, severing any strategic partnership. He also cautioned against relying on nuclear weapons for security, suggesting that Israel's possession of such arms wouldn't guarantee safety. Macgregor believes Erdogan's path may lead to acquiring nuclear weapons from Pakistan, posing a significant threat to Israel's nuclear deterrent strategy. Regarding the humanitarian flotilla, with over 1,000 ships bound for Gaza, Macgregor suggests that true leadership from the United States would involve threatening withdrawal of support if Israel continues its current course of mass expulsion and potential violence. He emphasizes the need for a ceasefire irrespective of Israel's interests, rooted in the collective memory of the Jewish Holocaust that shaped the upbringing of his generation. Many individuals, including myself and my family, once believed that the Holocaust, with its 6 million Jewish victims, served as the down payment for the establishment of Israel. We felt a moral imperative to ensure Israel's survival and prevent its destruction. However, succeed, generations like Dan's don't share the same fervor. Persuading them is challenging, especially when they witness Israeli actions towards Arabs, which often lack empathy. Notably, not all Israelis regard Arabs as equals. Perpetuating Arabs, feeling marginalized, are rallying support, including from non-Arab actors like Turkey, Iran, Russia, and China, each driven by distinct interests. The Russian perspective, for instance, emphasizes preventing American interference and regional destabilization. They are willing to support allies like Turkey and Iran to counter perceived threats. A situation is dire. This war is unwinnable. Currently, there's a fierce battle in Afra, proving costly for both Ukrainians and Russians. The Ukrainians face significant challenges, and it's uncertain if any high-ranking officers will step forward to end the conflict. The Ukrainian military appears to be faltering under pressure. On the Russian side, they hold the upper hand. Putin's recent statements suggest they have no interest in engaging with the Biden administration until after the election. Instead, they look to Europe for leadership, hoping someone will emerge to address the crisis and work towards peace. However, such prospects seem bleak. The Russians seem determined to extend their control from Odessa to Kharkiv, reclaiming territories historically known as New Russia. Drawing parallels to history like the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk in 1918, the Russians may impose their terms forcefully. The Ukrainians may find themselves in a similar position as the Soviets did. Compelled to concede, the Russians, with their singular focus on Ukraine, are poised to achieve their objectives, regardless of international opinions. In light of this, humanitarian concern should take precedence over military aid. The priority should be to end the suffering of the Ukrainian people. Although the extent of their nation's survival remains uncertain, the current administration's assessments are flawed. Contrary to belief, Russia isn't weak. In fact, it's stronger than ever. Under Putin's leadership, the Russian economy outperforms many Western counterparts, and their military capabilities have significantly improved since the 1980s. Despite initial underestimations of Western reactions, Russia's intentions regarding Eastern Europe are misunderstood. They're not inclined to invade. Rather, they seek a return to normalcy and economic engagement. However, Western interference impedes this goal. Zelensky, caught in the middle, faces unjust scrutiny. His predicament reflects broader indifference towards the suffering of the Ukrainian people. And despite his efforts, he receives little acknowledgement, especially from the Senate, which often prioritizes hawkish agendas fueled by corporate interests. Washington's landscape, once described by Ralph Nader as corporate-occupied territory, is now influenced by oligarchs and their financial backing. This reality underscores the systemic challenges in addressing conflicts like the one in Ukraine, where humanitarian concerns take a backseat to political interest. He believes that Hezbollah will likely intervene in the conflict, posing a significant challenge for Israel, especially as they deal with issues in the south. He also points out that Israel's past support for Hamas has backfired, leading to a complex situation with potential uprisings in the West Bank. Regarding Egypt, he speculates that General Sisi might feel pressured to intervene if the situation in Gaza deteriorates further. Additionally, he highlights concerns about Jordan's stability, given its significant Palestinian population. As for Iran, he suggests they may act through their militias rather than directly engaging with Israel, fearing Israeli nuclear retaliation. The situation with Turkey is uncertain, with concerns about their readiness for conflict and the potential for prolonged, difficult confrontations. Finally, he warns against any hasty action against Iran, emphasizing that the geopolitical landscape has changed significantly since 1991. He believes that urging Israel not to enter Gaza is crucial at this point, considering the significant casualties and the impracticality of eradicating Hamas entirely. He suggests diplomatic intervention to find a way forward, even if it means must be more flexible on certain issues Israel has previously rejected. Regarding Turkey, he emphasizes Erdogan's leadership in the Muslim Brotherhood and Turkey's alignment with Hamas, contrasting it with Turkey's reception of foreign officials compared to Iran's. He underscores Turkey's substantial military capabilities and Erdogan's strong domestic support, which could have significant implications in the current situation. He believes that Erdogan's statements about Turkish soldiers eventually fighting in Gaza are significant, indicating a mobilization effort and a readiness for action. Erdogan's confidence in Turkey's military power suggests that action is imminent, although the timing remains uncertain. Similarly, Iran is also serious about involvement but is more cautious due to fears about potential repercussions from the U.S. He emphasizes the importance of taking Erdogan seriously, considering Turkey's historical presence in the region and its ideological stance. Additionally, he criticizes the U.S. government's unconditional support for Israel, suggesting that this has empowered Netanyahu to act aggressively in the region with little accountability due to the influence of the Israel lobby in Washington. The Germans took 68,000 casualties, only 11,000 killed. We were over 140,000 casualties and 20,000 killed. So, when in doubt, lie. That's the metric in war. And I think right now we have no idea what's really happened to the Israelis, or exactly what's happened to the air. What we know is, in general terms, this is a catastrophe, a humanitarian disaster and a catastrophe. So the question is, what's next? And those two questions have to be in. And I don't think you're going to get good answers, which means I don't think this ceasefire is going to produce anything really good.